Gaming tech, eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
Alright guys, here is the Outrun cabinet here that we have all set up. As you guys can see here, Outrun was the last missing cabinet that I wanted to add to the room to now have all my cabinets here. And as you guys can see, this looks fantastic, guys. Outrun, they did a really solid job with the artwork. I know it's kind of hard to see the artwork there because of the fact that I have it hiding on the side piece there, but they did a really, really solid job of how it looks like. The only thing I'm actually going to change out is I am going to change this one-up sticker here and add the decal that they're selling on Arcade Graphics, to add the Ferrari symbol that came on there originally to make it a little bit more official. But the light-up marquee looks fantastic on here. The screen, of course, looks great. They still have the games there at the bottom that they usually do with their machines. You can see a little bit more of the artwork there on the side, how it says Outrun and how the bottom is themed. And then, of course, you got the pedals there and stuff. These are made out of plastic, so hopefully this lasts a long time. Time will tell, of course, but it definitely feels plastic, but it does work really well, so for whatever that's worth. The wheel feels fantastic. I love the grip of the wheel and how it feels when you grab it and stuff. It feels really good, and the shifter, though plastic, also feels really good. This feels like it's made out of some nice steering material. I like the wheel being the component the best out of everything. It feels great. And then, of course, you got the buttons there as usual. I really like this little piece right here that has all the maps of every place that you're going to in Outrun. This is really cool. Unfortunately, this was actually the first machine that I actually got damaged in the mail. Out of all my Arcade1up machines that I've gotten in any arcade machines I had in here, it was unfortunately going to happen at one point or another where I got some damage. And again, it wasn't the hugest deal, but the two spots that I got damage in is this little nick right here. Right there on there was already there. Nothing I could do about that. But the bigger one is the one right here in the corner on the side of the machine here. You can see that this black piece actually is not glued. I'm just going to glue this down here when we're done and just glue it there, and that would be fine. But the bigger problem is that chip here on the side and the piece of the chip that actually happened in the box. It doesn't even have, it's missing that little corner piece, so I can't even like glue it down or anything because the actual artwork piece is just not there. So that was unfortunate, but once I glue this right there, it won't be too bad. Once I glue it like that, it will be missing, but not something that you can even see when you're standing straight like this and playing the machine. No one will ever know that but me, obviously, because, for the most part, everything else looks really, really good. So that was unfortunate, but, that's what happens with UPS and stuff. But the cabinet is fantastic, guys. I love the look of it. It's exactly what I was hoping Outrun. Outrun is one of my favorite games, and I've been excited to have my first driving cab in the room because this is my first driving cabinet in the room, and probably going to be my only one because I always, like I say, keep cabinets that give me a different feel of the others. So I'm probably going to eventually turn this into, a racing cab with a PC mod or something. We'll see. But let me show you guys some gameplay now of how the game actually plays, so you guys can get an idea of how Outrun plays on here. Alright guys, so here we are at the main menu of the Outrun cabinet. You can see we have 5 different games to choose from. The stand-up version of the Outrun machine actually already came with the extra bonus game that a lot of other people on the standing or the sit-down one had to update themselves, but it already came with this one. As you can see, we have Outrun, Turbo Outrun, Power Drift, Outrunners, and Rad Rally. And you can see that they all actually have settings underneath, so you can actually just move the wheel to select the game. And then if you want to select the settings, you just kind of move down on this. And now you're looking at all the settings. So you just move this down once, and now you're highlighting the settings. And then when you go back up, now you're highlighting the game. So if we were to look at the settings for Outrun, and you hit that, and then you just hit start. These are the settings that you can change. You can see the demo sounds are on. You could adjust the time, the difficulty. You could show the gear. You could show scan lines. You can reset high scores. And then you can just save and exit and get out of there. So they each have their own independent options that you can change while you're playing. So let's get into some gameplay here. You can select the music here if you want. How do you select? You can just, I usually pick Splash Wave as one of my favorite tracks. So the wheel actually feels really, really good in my opinion for these games. I think it feels really, really solid. It controls really well. It's definitely sensitive, but in a good way. Like, I like how sensitive it is. You know, you don't have to move it that much to get around these cars. And then when you're doing a turn, of course, you do got to move it a little bit more. But I think it's, in my opinion, for this game, perfectly aligned to what I want the wheel to be adjusted. I think it feels really good to play Outrun like this with this wheel. And I'm going to crash on it. I almost did. But yeah, all these games play all really, really well. I'm only showing you Outrun right today because they all pretty much play the same way. And, oh boy. Yep, gonna crash.
Oh my goodness.
And just crashed out of there. But yeah, this plays fantastic. The pedals do feel really good. You know, the gas pedal works fine, even though it's made out of plastic like we were talking about. I haven't had any issues playing or anything. Of course, we'll see how long they last because they do feel, of course, that they're plastic and a little bit cheaper. You know, it's not like made out of metal or anything, so hopefully they last a long time, but they do feel good when you're using them in the game for whatever that's worth. And you can see the, you know, the graphics look really good on here. I love the way that this looks on here. Come on. You know, this is definitely going to be one of the cabinets that I'm going to leave like this for a little while, but this may be a cabinet that I turn into a project because it is the only racing game on here, or a racing wheel game that I have. And being that I don't have unlimited room in this game, in the future I may end up turning this into a racing cab where I add Outrun and all the other games that I want to add on here to play with this wheel. I'll leave the wheel stock, of course, and the pedals, but I'll just add a PC to this and be able to play all the racing games. So I may do that in the future, in a future video. So if you want to stay tuned for that, make sure you subscribe. But even as is, this is fantastic. I'm going to be using this like this for a while with these games. Outrun is definitely one of my favorite arcade racers from back in the day. And this is really solid. And I think that's enough of my bad driving that you guys need to see. At least I didn't. At least I got to the first checkpoint. But that gives you guys a little bit of an impression of you know, what the gameplay is like. And then of course you could just hold the start button down for 5 seconds, and then it eventually will go back to the main menu. And then you can select any of the other 5 that are there. So I think they did a solid job with this cabinet that they did here. I like, you know, of course, it being lit up. I like the feel of the wheel. It feels good. The shifter feels good. The pedals are the only thing that's a little bit lower quality just because it's made out of plastic. But again, I don't expect metal out of here. I mean, they're already giving you, you know, the wheel feels really nice in your hands and stuff, and the shifter and stuff. So there has to be some corners they're going to cut to keep the price on where they want. But I like the fact that this map Outrun is here, with the fact that it shows you all the artwork from all the different areas that you're going into in Outrun, which is really cool. So I think that looks really good. I think the side art, like we talked about, even though you can't see a lot of it because it's blocked in the arcade, I think they did a really good job. So this is definitely going to be one of my favorite arcade machines in the room because I'm a big fan of Outrun. But like I said, I may eventually turn this into a project and put a PC in here just to be able to play more games than just Outrun. Believe the cabinet stock, just add a PC instead. But either way, this is a really, really solid one from Arcade1up. It's just unfortunate that I was unlucky for the first time in any of my cabinets where it actually came a little bit damaged. It's the only cabinet in the room that's received any sort of damage in shipping. But it's not, you know, it could have been a lot worse. At least the cabinet works and it's pretty much hidden and not that big of a deal anymore. But, you know, that's the unfortunate things that happens with UPS and everything. So, but guys, if you guys have any questions about this cabinet, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Until next time.